Thank you. We ask that you please join me in a moment of silence to remember the fallen, prisoners of war, and those missing in action, and honor those who have served and are serving in this great nation's armed services.
Mama, help me. Help me, Mama. Yes.
Thank you all for joining us here today. This year, across the country at more than 4,200 participating locations like this one, there are millions of Americans gathering safely as a one nation to remember, honor, and teach. We are all proud to be Americans that live in a free society made up of many people from many walks of life. The freedoms we enjoy here today have not come without a price. Lying here before us in cemeteries throughout the nation are men and women who gave their lives so that we can live in freedom and without fear. We can worship as we see fit. We can raise our children to believe as we do. We are free to vote for the leaders of our choosing, and we have the right to succeed, and we have the right to fail at whatever endeavor we wish to pursue. The United States of America was founded on the ideals of freedom, justice, and equality. Our nation stands as a shining beacon of liberty and freedom to the world. We thank those who gave their lives to keep us free. We shall not forget you. We shall remember. Today, more than ever, we reflect on our nation's veterans and active duty service members who have had and continue to fight to protect the innocent and oppressed. This nation has always been the first to stand up for the freedom of people around the world. Many of you here today have answered that call and served your country well. For this, we say thank you, and we are honored to know you. There are many men and women serving today in all branches of the military, here at home and in places far away that most of us have never heard of. These men and women are part of the best trained, best equipped force in the world. We honor them and their families for the sacrifices they make each day to keep our country safe from terrorism, hatred, and injustice. Quoting our 40th President, Ronald Reagan, "Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same, or one day we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was once like in the United States where men were free." Today, we show a united front of gratitude and respect across the United States of America as we remember the fallen, honor those who serve and their families, and teach the next generation the value of freedom. Now, Sergeant First Class Stephen Kulik will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Army. Now, Master Gunnery Sergeant Brian Griffin will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Marine Corps. Now, Seaman Apprentice Tienan will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Navy. Now, Master Sergeant Cross Williams will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Air Force. Now, SPC 3 Tyler Evangelista will lay a veteran's wreath in honor of those who are serving the United States Space Force. Now, Seaman Jackson Davis will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Coast Guard. Now, Captain Yearwood will lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Merchant Marines. Now, Falcon, United States Military Vets Motorcycle Club, will lay a veteran's wreath in honor of the 93,129 United States servicemen from all branches of the service whose last known status was either prisoners of war or missing in action. These individuals have never returned to their families and homes. We shall not forget you. Honor Guard, post. Color guard, please retire the colors.
Shoulder! On! Colors going start! Out!
We encourage every volunteer here today who places a wreath on a veteran's grave to say that veteran's name aloud and take a moment to thank them for their service to our country. It is a small act that goes a long way to keeping the memory of our veterans alive. Remember, we are not here today to decorate graves. We are here to remember their death, not their deaths, but their lives. Each wreath is a gift of appreciation from a grateful America. These live balsam fir wreaths symbolize our honor to those who have served and are serving in the armed forces of our great nation, and to their families who endure sacrifices every day on our behalf. To our children, we want you to understand that the freedoms you enjoy today have not been free, but have come with a cost that someday you may have to pay yourself. As a nation standing together, we can defeat terrorism, hatred, and injustice. Thanks to our veterans, we have the freedom to do just that. Thank you.
I want to thank everybody for being here today. I want to introduce our speaker. After graduating from MIT and Stanford University, John entered the U.S. Air Force as an F-15E combat pilot. He would go on to serve as an F-22 test pilot and eventually lead as the commander of Joint Base Andrews, the commander of Edwards Air Force Base, and the nation's senior defense official in Iraq. General Tickert ended his service in the Air Force as the Assistant Deputy Undersecretary of the Air Force for International Affairs. During his career, he logged over 2,000 flight hours and 38 different aircraft types. General Tickert is a champion for inspirational, innovative, integrity-filled leadership. He has written and spoken extensively on leadership, national security, innovation, risk management, and international affairs. Please help me welcome General John Tickert.
Remember, honor, and teach. We're all here today for one mission: to remember and honor and teach. Thank you for taking time out of your busy holiday schedule to be here to do those three important things: to remember and to honor and to teach. The following comes from the Holy Bible in the book of Joshua. Take ye hence out of the midst of the Jordan, out of the place where the priest's feet stood firm, 12 stones, and ye shall carry them over with you, and leave them in the lodging place where ye shall lodge this night. They did, and then they went on to explain why. That this may be a sign among you, that when your children ask their fathers in time to come, saying, what mean ye by these stones? For us today, what mean ye by all of these stones? Remember and honor and teach. Here on this beautiful property, there are almost 20,000 stones, and each of them give us an opportunity to remember and to honor and to teach. Around the globe, at 4,200 sites today, there are 3.2 million wreaths that are placed on 3.2 million stones, giving each person an opportunity to remember and to honor and to teach. Here in Crownsville, I'm not sure if I knew personally any one of the individuals that are laid to rest here, but to some extent, I know all of them, because we took the same oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And I can speak for each of them in saying this, that as you see their stone and you remember them, they would love it. They would be privileged and thrilled if, in addition to remembering, you honored and you taught. As you place each wreath on that stone, take the time, or as you see others do so, to remember and to honor and to teach. About 70 miles to the north of here, in 1863, President Abraham Lincoln gave a shockingly short speech that was massively powerful, and in part, this is what he said. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work, which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. As you go about your duty here on this hallowed ground, as you remember and you honor and you teach, use this time to redouble your dedication to carrying on their unfinished work, the noble calling that they served, that we are here to follow up on their amazing legacy. It's a joy and a thrill for me to be here as a veteran, as a candidate for United States Senate, as a proud American, as we collectively serve together with one another to remember and to honor and to teach. Thank you.
Thank you, General Teichert. Thank you very much.
Sir, we're grateful for your service and your words. I am Jill Harris. This is my husband, and your Master of Ceremonies today was my son. This is a family affair for us. My husband and my son have been doing this for 14 years, something to that effect. Among us today, we have veterans. We have families of veterans. We have families of those that are serving. We have patriotic Americans. We have the youth of tomorrow. The memories of those that have gone before us, and thousands of stories. During World War I, there was no social media. Communities were very small and cared deeply for one another. News sometimes took days or even weeks to arrive. Families that had someone serving in the war would hang a flag outside of their house with a blue star on it. If they had multiple family members, the number of stars on that flag would reflect the number that they had serving. If the family was notified of their death, they then sewed a smaller gold star on top of that blue star. That was their way of honoring their loved one who was no longer with them. This tradition still continues. If you've ever been to Mission Barbecue, hanging in the window of every store is the story of the founder. And he has a flag hanging in the window with 4 stars on it for his 4 family members. Being a Gold Star family is the designation that nobody wants. It is to be recognized as a Gold Star family. We want to thank all of the Blue Star and Gold Star families here today, and we want to lay a wreath in recognition of their designation and their sacrifices. At this time, I would like to ask that the family of Nathan McDavitt, Gold Star family, and the family of Marshall Ketron, Blue Star family serving in Japan, join us to place the wreaths at the bell tower. If you could make room for them, we'd appreciate it. thank you so much for sharing your loved ones with America. Reaching 100% coverage is a gift. It is not a given. We sponsored directly to Crownsville enough wreaths to sponsor 79% of our graves, 79% of our veterans. We can do better. We were given a gift from Wreaths Across America headquarters, and we have enough wreaths for 95% of our graves. Absolutely. So those are wreaths that were sponsored to www.wreathsacrossamerica.org and weren't designated for a specific cemetery. They do spread them out across the country, and we were gifted with those wreaths. So a huge shout out to Mission Barbecue and over our 50 fundraising groups that help support our effort. We honor them all for the work that they're doing. Mission Barbecue, if you haven't heard, has their cup campaign, and the Gambrel's store and the Glen Burnie store, their proceeds from their cup campaign placed over 300 wreaths here today. So thank you. Starting today, January 16th, Wreaths Across America will match your donation through one of our fundraising groups. These groups have a designation that's specific and a number. If you sponsor 2 wreaths, we get 4. There is a flyer over on in the grave specific section. If you're interested, pick one up. Today is possible due to donations from Humdinger Productions, Bobby's Potties, Waste Management for the Dumpster, Mission Barbecue, and our most amazing talented musicians, Mackenzie Bowie, who's been with us for 8 years? 9 years. She started as a middle schooler. And our bugler, Ernest Baker. Okay, now we get to the wreaths. We have an extremely large crowd. Thank you so much for daring the traffic, for listening to me complain about no parking. You guys did an amazing job. Just turn around and look at how many people are here. This is a race, not a race. Go! No. This is not a race, it is an honor. The ground is uneven, so please pay attention to your steps. Make sure that you're aware of any holes that are out there. If anything's too bad, please come write me a note so we can report it. We need to know where it is, by the way, so we can let the grounds maintenance crews know so that they can take care of it. We want everyone to have the ability to place a remembrance wreath. As Kevin said, we do not decorate the graves. These are not Christmas decorations. They are remembrance wreaths. Please take one wreath. Shake it out. It's had a long journey from Maine. Fluff the bow. I know it's not a guy thing, it's an honor thing, okay? Fluff the bow. Make it look presentable, not like it's been squished in a box with 12 of its friends for the past month. There's a tag on the back of it. There's a tag that says, I placed a veteran's wreath on the grave of an American hero. Take the tag home with you as a remembrance of today. We always forget these, so. Graves that have a pink marker flag, you've seen them throughout the cemetery, have a wreath set aside for them over there for the family members to lay. If they aren't able to attend, we do have some volunteers coming after you guys leave that will be placing those wreaths for the family. So just leave them and we'll take care of them later. That way the families can get to them. If you are a family and placing the wreath on your loved one, return the pink flag on your way out. We do only place one wreath per grave, even if there's a husband and wife and a child buried there. We do have a Jewish section in section 2. It is taped off. We don't place wreaths in that section unless the family member has requested one. We do have a basket of rocks. A rock is their way of honoring. So we do ask that you still say their name. Headstones are just that. It's where the head of the casket is. Please try not to walk on the grave, walk between them, walk between the rows. When you're placing the wreath, stand beside the grave, not standing on it. Wreaths are placed with the bow at the top and just touching the bottom of the headstone. Once you've done that, stand back, say their name aloud. It is said that we die twice. Once when our heart stops beating, and again when our name is said for the last time. Offer them a prayer, a thank you, a salute, whatever you're comfortable with. Boxes are totally to be broken down, flat, 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 flat. We had this lovely gentleman who is volunteering his 3rd year at the dumpster down there to make sure that we can try and fit all these boxes in the one dumpster. So break down the boxes, take them to the curb. Since we don't have room for vehicles at this moment, take them to the curb and we will eventually get them there. If you have a truck and you want to hang out towards the end, thank you, we appreciate that help.